Hi Scorpio, welcome to your mid-July 2017 readings. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I apologize for being late. I'm trying to get you out before everybody else. I like to do Scorpios and for some reason Aquarius on their own day. I'm not sure why. Scorpio, when I read for you guys, it takes a lot more energy out of me. And it's just because, like, when you do general readings, for me, I deal with energy, so it's a lot for, and because of my Scorpio placements, it's a lot of energy to dive in when it's general. But these readings are going to be a little bit shorter because I'm strapped for time, so hopefully I convey what need be, and give you guys the information. Wait for the cards to get interrupted here. Okay, there we go. That one got stuck, so I'm just gonna put my hat on because I don't know why, like it's my comfort zone. My hat. Okay, so I'll pull 7 cards out. I'll probably pull other cards to clarify. I deal with energies, so we're going to see what comes through. They might not necessarily be what the card says, right? So for the first card we have is the 3 of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Swords. I like, in this deck especially, I do like the Swords characters, where I think they got a bad rep. Like Scorpios, so... the next card we have is the Hangman. We have the Lovers. Ooh, you guys, you got good cards. This is great. I always get a little concerned, I'm not gonna lie, when I get into Scorpios. The Ace of Cups. Even better, even better. We have the Moon, which is not necessarily a bad thing, you guys. And we have the 8 of Wands. So for the rest of the month, it seems like for you guys, okay, a lot of things are going to be happening very quickly. You can get a lot of messages from a lot of different people, a lot of phone calls, a lot of random things popping up, you know. It could get you off balance. That's what the Moon is telling me, okay? But the cards are also saying that you're going to have to be very mentally aware, all right? So it's not talking about coming from your emotions. Well, actually, okay, Scorpio, some of you guys are emotionally blocked. That is, okay, the Queen of Swords, that's not a person coming in. I don't feel like it's a person. This is you. So it seems like, okay, for the rest of the month, this could even go into next month, okay? You guys are going to be put in a pause state. So if you get put in a pause state and you feel like things aren't like moving forward, or things aren't going the way that you want, it's almost like the universe is trying to make you see things, okay? So it's like, you gotta pause and surrender, okay? Because the universe it kind of seems like you guys are coming off quite sharp and cold, all right? So, and it wants you to get more in tune with your heart, with what you guys want. You guys are going to achieve this, okay? If you fight it, okay, then you're going to prolong it, and the energy will carry out longer. Like, it will go through to next month, okay? But if you embrace it, okay, so that means if you get put in a pause state, embrace that pause state, okay? Really, like, with her, what I'm thinking is, like, this is you guys, whether male or female, okay? So you're gonna need mental clarity, okay? What this is odd. I gotta see if I can get this proper. What I'm being told, it's kind of like, okay, you guys are going to have to bring illumination to yourselves, okay? So this means realizing, why are you coming across like the Queen of Swords? It's not a bad thing, all right? But there's like this coldness that's happened to you guys. You've like kind of frozen over a little bit emotionally. You got to realize, why is that Why is that happening? Like what triggered that? Okay, you might be triggered at some point. You're going to be put in a pause state to realize what triggered that. You got to figure it out yourself. Okay, whatever's going to put you into this Queen of Swords phase, what triggered that? And it seems to do heart matters. Okay, so you got to open that up again. After you've figured it out, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. We all have to do the work, right? It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Your emotions are making you cold. Some of you guys could have a sibling that's getting married. Okay, I want you guys to pat yourselves on the back though, because the cards are saying that you guys are doing the work. All right, some of you might have realized something, and then like you flicked a switch and you shut off because you didn't wanna like deal with it in that moment. You know what I mean? Or you didn't want to accept it for what it was. But you guys are doing the work. It is saying you're doing the work. Okay. When you get put into this pause phase, it seems like you might have a lot coming at you. Okay, so you are going to have to give yourself time. Okay, because there's some things hidden that it's unclear. You don't see it yet. Okay, so don't react too quickly. Okay, this is my last card I pull out. I always pull a last card, and I always put a name to that. Or so the last card, what I always, the rest of the cards are just for me to read. The last card though, I always put out as a outcome. The rest of the cards are just kind of like the energies I get is what it's going to tell me. But this card here is a possible outcome. So this all depends on you, right? It's possible. I believe in free will, and I believe that the universe never interferes with free will. You're always given another opportunity if you get it wrong, so don't panic, right? Like, don't feel like you have to rush things. Okay, there's a possibility that you could rush things. You are protected. You're spiritually protected. And we're going into Leo season, so like that could put some fire underneath you. All right. But if you're in a relationship, this is talking about sending sweet messages to your spouse. It's talking about doing romantic things. All right. You could be dealing with, some of you guys could be dealing with a Leo. The Queen of Swords could be a Leo or a Gemini, I'm getting. Okay, so if you're dealing with a Leo and Gemini, they've shut down emotionally because they feel like you're not opened up emotionally, right? But like, you're going to see that, right? You're going to see what triggers that. Maybe like if there's bickering happening, you're going to see possibly what part you play in the bickering and make the adjustments, right? Like the other party has a part in it, obviously. But at some point, somebody's going to have to recognize the triggering and then be the bigger person. All right, Scorpios, and you guys are being asked to be the bigger person because that's going to, it's going to trigger a switch that's going to really bring clarity and open things up, and you know, like you guys are going to emotionally bond again, right? Like, so it's like a little bit of pride and ego work is being done here, right? We all need ego and pride. You do need that, but it's a healthy one, right? Ego and pride can prevent us from apologizing. It can also prevent us from being the bigger person. But you could be dealing with somebody who's, if it's a Leo or a Gemini, they could be quite stubborn. But if you're dealing with them, they want more romance and more love back into it. And as a Scorpio, you know, you guys should be able to do that. So we have the King of Pentacles that came up for the Hangman. I pulled it on the Hangman. We got the World. Is it the World? Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune on the Eight of Wands. And we have the Devil. You guys get this a lot. All right, so the Devil on top of the Moon. Okay, so whatever was unjust, or okay, it's talking about like codependencies too. So codependency comes in all forms, like eating habits. Okay, so this is talking about, though, your codependency issue is emotional as well. All right, so when you emotionally get off balance, this triggers your codependency issue. So this could trigger When you emotionally get off balance, this can trigger your neediness. You start to become more needy, or you become distant. It's like vice versa, one or the other. Okay, that I pulled out justice here. Okay, but it's also talking about when you emotionally get triggered, your emotions get off balance. It's talking about that triggers your emotional eating, and it's triggering emotional spending or emotional drinking, right? Like it's triggering your codependency issue. So you're going to have to get in there, really do the mental work, okay? But it's talking about the King of Pentacles is very grounded, okay? Okay, so he's slow moving, he's methodical, very detail oriented, very fact oriented too, right? Like numbers, right? So like if something doesn't add up, then you got to become the Queen of Swords, in the sense, this is not talking about emotionally shutting down, you guys, okay? You got to stay emotionally open here. It's talking about, with the Queen of Swords, figuring everything out, okay? Because the difference between a male and a female brain, okay, is the female, her brain works like all aspects work together. Like when she's troubleshooting or problem solving, if like, this is why if a woman's having sex, they can think about other things, right? Their brain operates all together. Where a man, if he's having sex, he's just having sex. Like honestly, he's not thinking about anything or anybody else, right? Like his mind's just focused on that. If a man is focused on family, well, his brain is just focused on family, right? Whereas a woman's brain, if she's thinking about family, well, she's also thinking about her job, her finances, like every other thing, and like everything is intertwined, right? Like, but a man's brain is compartmentalized, right? Like it's in like slots. So they have the ability to remove emotion and stuff like that out of specific things, out of the relationship. What's best for the relationship, they can remove certain things. Whereas a woman, she can't do that. She considers everything in that. Okay, so the Queen of Swords is asking you to consider everything, because you have the with the King of Pentacles, after you've considered everything, then you're going to take on the King of Pentacles and be able to make the practical choices. Okay, so if something doesn't add up, then okay, get into the Queen of Swords, the mental phase, male or female, whether you are, you got to consider everything. Try not to just be nearsighted. Okay, so your job's affecting your relationship. You got to realize that. Okay, you got to put the same amount of effort and work into your relationship as you do your job. Okay, if you don't show up to your job, you don't have a job. Okay, so like if you shut down emotionally with your partner, well then that's the same thing as like not showing up to work, right? It's going to create problems, right? Like you get suspended or you get write-ups and warnings. You don't get that in relationships, you know? Like you got to put the work in, the Three of Pentacles, but it's working together, okay? Like this is positive, you guys. Things are going to change and turn for you once you do this, okay? But the whole time you're doing this, don't emotionally shut down. Okay, your emotions must be considered in this too, right? Like we talked about the Queen of Swords, like the difference between the male female. The female considers everything. Her emotions are considered in her finances as well. Like she does something that, you know, like emotionally she has some sort of attachment to what she does in work, right? Like when she gets unhappy, she will remove herself from that situation. The Queen of Swords removes herself from situations. But you got to balance the scales here, okay? And like, you guys, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna have a few more months of stuff like this coming up, okay? And why this is coming up is because it's the universe trying to get you in position here, right? Like they're trying to get things balanced and putting stuff in place and clear things out for you, so that when Jupiter comes into your sign, right? If we do the work now, then you're prepared for Jupiter and you get its rewards quicker. You're going to get more options and things coming at you, right? If you have to do the work while you're in Jupiter, well, then some of the options you get and stuff might not work out. So it's like the universe is trying to get you to recognize some things and to realize some things. You got to come to some realizations, right? For each of you, it'll be different though, okay? This is all talk about self-work and realizing things in the self. All right. If you have emotionally shut down, then the Queen of Swords is talking about getting in tune to why you've emotionally shut down. What's triggering that? Okay. You guys, like I said, pat yourselves on the back, because the cards are saying that, you know, things are going to be looking up. Things are shifting. They're positive. The wheel's going to start turning in your favor, as long as, and it's showing that you're doing the work. So positive thinking here, okay? And whatever you got, like this devil's been around for a while, okay? So this is, with the Justice card coming on top of it, like you guys are going to get things figured out. You're going to figure out what the codependency issue is. You're going to figure out what's triggering you. You're going to figure out what triggered you to shut down. And you're going to figure out how you open up again. The Lovers here, that's a beautiful energy, you guys. I feel like once we, like, don't react too quickly to things, okay? Process things this month. If people try to force you to make decisions, don't feel forced into anything, okay? You got to be methodical about things, and you really got to give yourself some time to process some things. And it seems like you're going to get gas back in your engine. You're going to start feeling better. You're going to start, you know, you might even start looking into going to the gym or just getting outdoors and doing things more outdoors, you know, like, but there's going to be this nice switch of energy, okay? The devil's going to tempt you, though. You could be tempted to fall back into some old patterns, okay? You guys have come a long way, and you got a switch happening here, okay? So what you need to be careful of is what the cards are telling me is, like, you've come a long way from your past, okay? But if you reminisce on your past and you start thinking about the past and remembering who and what you are, okay, you're going to become that again. There's a warning here of you, because you're going back to the mindset, right? You're not that person anymore. So self-forgiveness is needed. You know, we all make mistakes. It's a part of life. But you need to stay in the present. If you're looking at the past, see how far you've come. Like, pat yourself on the back, like, man, you know, like, I've been through a lot of things and I've made it out. I'm still alive, you know, like, and you'll realize what situation you're in now. It's like, if you've made it through all of that, then what your present situation is nothing, except, you know, like, it's like walking over a log, right? Like, you guys are going to free yourself, but it's all self-work that you're going to have to do. Okay, guys, they're a little bit shorter. Hopefully that helped you out, and I will talk to you in the monthlies. Ciao for now.